Yeah. Get my stream manager open. Here we go. I can see chat. Actually, I could try to get across over here, right? Nope. There we go. Alright, so I am doing the trying to solve puzzles for the summer of code. What? Let's Google. Advent of code for 2021. So I already solved the first one before I decided to stream. So I'll just run through it. So day 1, sonar sweep. You're minding your own business on a ship at sea when the overboard alarm goes off. You rush to see if you can help. Apparently, one of the elves tripped and accidentally sent the sleigh keys flying into the ocean. Before you know it, you're inside a submarine the elves keep ready for situations like this. It's covered in Christmas lights, because of course it is. And it even has an experimental antenna that should be able to track the keys if you can boost its signal strength high enough. There's a little meter that indicates the antenna's signal strength by displaying 0 to 50 stars. See here, I have 1 star. Your instincts tell you that in order to save Christmas, you'll need to get all 50 stars by December 25th. Basically no chance. Collect all stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day in the Advent calendar. So it's the 2nd today, so we should have 4 puzzles. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck. As the submarine drops below the surface of the ocean, it automatically performs a sonar sweep of the nearby seafloor. On a small screen, the sonar sweep report, your puzzle input, appears. Just turn the volume down on that a little. Each line is a measurement of the seafloor depth as the sweep looks further and further away from the submarine. Just turn it down on here, so I can turn it down for myself too. That's better. Further and further away from the submarine. For example, suppose you had the following report. 199, 200, 208, 210, back to 200. This report indicates that scanning outward from the submarine, the sonar sweep found depths of 199, 200, 208, 210, and so on. The first order of business is to figure out how quickly the depth increases, just so you know what you're dealing with. You never know if the keys will get carried into deeper water by an ocean current or a fish or something. Hey Devin, long time no see. How have you been? I feel like it's been, what, 3 months? 2 months? Something like that since I streamed and you were here. I've streamed once since I moved in. It's been 84 years. Today I'm doing something a little bit different from Rocket League. It is some software development. Very exciting. So there's this thing called the Advent of Code. So in December, there's some programming puzzles to solve with a story about saving Christmas. And so I solved the first one a little while ago, and I thought I'd stream solving some of the others. Something a little bit different. So, my full-time job is software developer. I've been doing it for... I don't even want to think about how long it's been, actually. 13 years? Maybe? As a job. And I was doing it for a good 6 or 7 years before that, just as a hobby. So these numbers in a list represent the depth as you move away from the submarine, the depth of the ocean floor. First order of business is to figure out how quickly the depth increases, just so you know what you're dealing with. You never know if the keys will get carried into deeper water by an ocean current, or a fish or something. To do this, count the number of times a depth measurement increases from the previous measurement, and there is no measurement before the first measurement. In the example above, the changes are as follows. 199, there's no increase or decrease. Customer service. A very long time ago, I was very briefly in sales, which I spent most of my time actually doing customer service stuff in sales, which is why I didn't stay a salesperson for very long. It's about 3 months, and I never once hit my sales goal, so I got told to either quit or get fired, so I quit. I was even more antisocial then than I am now, so it was a very bad choice of job for me. So on the first one, it doesn't count as an increase or a decrease because it's the first one. The second one is 200. 200 is more than 199, so it is increased. And then it's increased again. Then it's increased again. Then it decreases. And so on and so on and so on. So in this example, there are 7 measurements that are larger than the previous measurement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many measurements are larger than the previous measurement? And so the puzzle that I got was 1,466, because there are 2,000 measurements total. Let me just switch to my code. So these were the measurements I had for part 1. And this is the code. So for part 1, it takes an input, which is a list of strings. So the list is basically for each line has a string, which is just text. And it's supposed to return an integer, which is just a number. So I set up some variables here to keep track of some stuff outside of a loop. This for each indexed is a loop. So for every item in the list, or every row in the text file, so for each of these, it does all of the code inside these brackets here, these braces. Alright, Poos. Teaching you programming. So on the first time through the loop, if the index is 0, that's the first item is number 0. Programming, you tend to start with 0. You know, HTML. I was going to say for updating your MySpace page, but you're not old enough. So if the index is 0, then return. We don't care about the first one, so we go back and we start the loop again. And for each basically goes for each item in the list. So then on the next iteration, we'll get further through the loop. We set the current value. So currently it's a string, which is just like any text could be a string. Your name could be a string. A number could be a string. But a string can't necessarily always be a number. But in our case, we know that it always is a number, because these are all digits. So we tell it to turn the string into a number. And if there's an entry in the file that's not a number, it'll crash here and the whole thing will break. And then we just check if the current number is greater than the previous. So for previous, we just started with a default value of 0. And if it is larger, then we increase this number, which is also starting at 0. So this is the number of things that have increased, the number of times the thing has increased, which is what we're looking for as the answer to the puzzle. So then, once we've gone through all of the items in the list, we return it. And so this is a method, this is a function, which is like a piece of code that executes. And it's called from here, part 1. And this print line, print ln, means print some text. So if we run this, you see here, for part 1, we get 1466. ln, not nl. So we got 1466, which, if you remember, was the answer I put in here. And it was correct. And I got 1 gold star. Hooray! So I got 1 star up here. Very exciting. ln is natural log. I don't know what that means. Not at all. What's maths? You mean math? I'm going to tell you something that you won't hear many programmers say, and that's that I really sucked at maths. I never enjoyed it. I did exactly as much as I needed to do, and that's it. Maths. I think it's more like M-A-F-F-S. Maths. Yeah, I know, and I never really studied it. As soon as I could stop, I stopped. And there's a lot of stuff that people here do in high school that I'm not even familiar with. Like I did algebra, and then I was like, okay. And algebra really helped with programming. But everything else, I haven't needed it in, 13 years of being a professional software developer, so I don't think I'm about to need it. So, part 2. That's my American. 69 bits. Thanks, Booze. Happy birthday again, by the way. I can say it out loud. You can hear me instead of me typing it. Did you finish your homework? Another 69 bits. 2 69s. Wait, what the hell? 3? What's going on? Booze, have you had half a beer? 4 times. Now don't make me... Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? 17. Thank you. Please stop. It's your birthday. I should be giving you bits. What the hell? All you purchased. Well, thank you very much. You shouldn't have. It's crazy. Clearly I should stick to programming. It's way more lucrative than playing Rocket League. So did you finish your homework? Have you had half a beer? Is that why you're so generous right now? Can I team bump in this? I guess I can like self bump by screwing myself up, writing bad code. No alcohol. All I have is water. Cheers. Happy birthday. Thank you for the bits. They're still alerting every couple of seconds. That's ridiculous. Right. Part 2. Yeah, it's Booz's birthday, Devin. So considering every single measurement isn't as useful, Booz is like 13 now, I think. 12 or 13, something like that. What are you? You gotta be 22? 23? 22. You're working in a bar, so you gotta be 21 already, so now you gotta be 22. Yeah, okay. Nailed it. Right. Considering every single measurement isn't as useful as you expected, there's just too much noise in the data. Instead, consider sums of a 3-measurement sliding window. Me? Snapchat? No. Too old for Snapchat. And TikTok. I'm almost too old for Instagram. Yeah. Not quite a boomer, thank God. I read recently that my age is like the oldest age that can be considered a millennial, which upset me quite a lot. I don't want to be a boomer, but I also don't want to be a millennial. I'd just be a grumpy old man. Thanks. Widescreen. I'm a widescreen millennial. Instead, consider sums of a 3-measurement sliding window. Again, considering the above example. So, the sliding window is window A contains the first 3. Window B contains 3 after skipping the first one. Window C, you skip the first 2 and then count 3. D, you skip the first 3 and so on. Okay. So I'm still gonna need a loop. Right, so let me explain. Like window A is 199 plus 200 plus 208. Those are all the ones that are in A. So like these numbers on the left are measurements. So the first 3 measurements are in window, or let's say they're in like bucket A. We consider that bucket A, so we add all of those together. And then for bucket B, you would add that one, and that one. So you'd the second, third, fourth. For bucket C, you'd do the third, fourth, and fifth. And for D, you do the fourth, fifth, and sixth, and so on. So you basically add up 3. You add them up, and then so compare the first and second 3 measurement windows. The measurements in the how do I score? I consider it scoring if my code even runs without an error, which never happens the first time. So start by comparing the first and second 3 measurement windows. The measurements in the first window are marked A. Yeah. That's what I just said. I'm winning. I got 1 star. I've only tried to get 1 so far. The second window marked B, blah blah blah, his sum is 618. So 618 is more than 607, so that is an increase. So I gotta count the number of times the sum of measurements in a sliding window increases. It's very similar to what I did in the last one, except considering them in groups of 3. So compare A with B, then B with C, then C with D, and so on. Stop when there aren't enough measurements left to create a new 3-measurement sum. In the above example, the sum of each 3-measurement window is as follows. It's just to show you what it would look like. In this example, there are 5 sums that are larger than the previous sum. Consider sums of a 3-measurement sliding window. How many sums are larger than the previous sum? All right, let's try and write some code. So, part 2. We can ignore part 1 now. And this is where we're going to write the code. So first of all, I need increase count. This is the thing we're going to return. So let's get that set up. Input for each indexed. So that'll give us every item in the list with its index item. So the current one is, let's turn it from a string into a number. We know that they're all numbers already. Huh. I don't need to know that though. I need to know this. How do I want to do this? So for each indexed, I'm going to take 3. I'm going to take 3 items. I take 3 where something is true. Let's switch to my window. Take while. Take 3. No, that's not gonna work. Let's do this the old-fashioned way, shall we? Okay. The item is the first. So I'm gonna get each one input x plus 1. Oops. And I'm gonna, so I care about 3 items. The window is of 3. So this is gonna get me the first one, which is the current one in the list. That's gonna get me the one after it. And this is gonna get me the one after that. So the first, second, and third. And then current sum equals first plus second plus third. Just add those up. And previous sum is 0. If current sum is greater than, oops, I need some parentheses. If current sum is greater than previous sum, increase count, add 1. You're confused. Which bit's confusing you? Yes, if then statement. So if the current sum, which is the current item, well, yeah, you're trying to, yeah, it's not easy to focus on somebody else programming whilst you're also doing other stuff. It's hard enough to focus on the programming when you're doing only that. So, how did I do this in part 1? Did I set previous straight away? No, I just set it at the end. So here, previous sum equals current sum. Not here. And then that. So the next time through, it's going to be correct. Here, I need to check that we're not going to get an index out of bounds exception. If input dot size is less than index plus 2, then we've reached the end of the loop. We don't have enough items anymore. Exactly this. Let me just check that. If 500 bits equals show bits 69. Looks like there's some errors here. Unexpected tokens. Use semicolon to separate expressions on the same line. You try again. I'll leave that there, but I'll comment it out for now. Alright. So for every item in the list. Oh yeah, I should have figured it was XL with the equals at the beginning. God, it's been a long time since I wrote any formulae in Excel. I'll get rid of that. So get the first, second, and third. If the current is higher than that, increase it, and then set previous to the current one, and then return the increase count. Let's just run it and see what breaks. This second number should not be 2000 anymore. It's broken. Index 2000 out of bounds for length 2000. So I got an off by 1 error, which is extremely common software development problem. It's here that I've gone wrong. So the size is 2000. Let me wrap my brain around this properly. So if the input size input size 2000 is less than 1997 plus 2, 1999. I mean, I know how many items there are in the array, so I could just say if index is higher than 1997, then don't do it. Have I done this the right way? Or did I just go backwards? 1492. That compiles. 1492. Let's go see if that's correct. 1492. That's not the right answer. Your answer is too high. If you're stuck, make sure you're using the full input data. There are also some general tips on the About page, or you can ask for hints on the subreddit. Please wait 1 minute before trying again. You guessed 1492. Return to day 1. Yeah, I could have less than equaled. So where have I gone wrong here? Each one... Also, welcome in, shrewd user. Yeah, Booz is here, teaching me how to code. I've only been doing it for a job for 13 years, so it's handy to have Booz here. Yeah. It's Booz's birthday today. Sheesh. I don't think the did I get that right? 1492. Let me run through this logic again. You're sick? You got COVID. Ugh. That sucks. So I get the current one. Oh. Pretty sure I did the same thing in part 1 here. Yeah. I forgot to ignore the first one. 1491. Let's go. It's been a minute. Another off by 1 error. That's the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer to finding the sleigh keys. Does a sleigh require keys? You are vaxxed. I got my booster shot day before yesterday. So now I'm triple. Well, and I also got my flu shot in the other arm. So I'm like quadruple vaxxed right now. I'm impervious to all disease. As long as all disease is only 2 viruses. You have completed day 1. You can share this victory. Or return to your advent calendar. I think I'll return to the advent calendar. Share it. I'm not gonna share it, am I? Where am I gonna share it? I do have Twitter, but I'm not sharing it on Twitter in front of you. I'll share it with you. I mean, I'm sharing it with you right now. Let's take a look at what day 2 has to offer. Oh, first of all, I'm gonna go commit the code. And push it to my repository. Why is day 1? Why is the text file not there? Is it being ignored already? Oh, it is being ignored. Okay. I guess they don't want people publishing everything. My suppository, yes. Let me just get it up in the suppository. Day 1 complete. For each index. For both parts. Commit and push. Please tell me that that's gonna work. Cool, okay. My suppository is fully up to date. I'm not really learning Kotlin, shrewd user. I'm a full-time Android developer. But I'm just solving them in Kotlin because I'm familiar with it. Sorry to bring up politics, but how do you feel about crypto and NFTs? I have some cryptocurrency. I got, actually, coincidentally, I got my first Bitcoin, not a whole one, but my first Satoshis. I got them for contributing to an open source project years and years ago. And they sent me like $75 at the time worth of Bitcoin that's now worth like a few grand. Not like, you know, retire and live on an island sort of money, but for a tiny bit of code, no, not $1 million. Where do I work? I don't want to say exactly where I work, but I like the area I work. I work for a company based in San Francisco. A sort of tech company, but not one of the largest ones. I used to work at Amazon for 8 years as a software developer. That was a long 8 years. Oh, really? Whereabouts in the US or somewhere else? I didn't find Amazon as bad as some people. Oh, Redwood City, yeah, I know it. I have a friend who he lived there. I don't know if he still does live there or not. He worked at Box, not far away from there, just a bit further south. I don't need a class. I'm just gonna copy this, since this will be the same. Should just copy the signatures here. They're gonna take input. Ooh. Actually, I don't know what they're gonna take. Yeah, I quite like it over in Redwood City. It's been a while since I was over there. Oops. Using my Mac shortcuts on a Windows computer. Yeah, I'm over in the East Bay now. It's ridiculously expensive. And like San Francisco, I used to think was like an incredible place. And then like I lived there for just over a year, like in actual downtown. It's just full of insane people. And like the different types of insane people. Like there's a lot of homelessness, and that's not good. That's not like improving over the years either. It's getting worse. Thanks, Booze. Oh, the tenderloin. I don't hate the homeless, Booze, but San Francisco has a special kind of homeless person. Like, I'm sure there are plenty there who are totally fine, but San Francisco has some of the most violent, like crazy looking homeless people I've ever seen. I lived in London before, like biggest city I've ever lived in, biggest city other than like a few in the world, and homeless people there just, you know, sit and ask for money. But then you go to San Francisco and like it's just crazy. Yeah, it's insane. I was walking to work in the morning. I used to walk along the Embarcadero, which is like on the front, like on the waterfront. And it's really nice walk, but then like you have to step over human feces or you like I was walking one day and there's just a um homeless guy like laying down on the floor on a patch of grass, just peeing into the grass while lying down on his side. This is like 8 in the morning on my commute to work. It's like, okay, I guess you couldn't find anywhere even remotely private to go do that. Just middle of the like pedestrianized area. Bizarre. And like one of the first nights I was there's a guy like shooting up in the alley with like something tied around his arm with a needle going in. Yeah, it's the same in SF. You feel right at home. Yeah, yeah. Coming from England, I found it really like in your face. It's bizarre. The disparity is just insane. Like the mega rich, and then tons and tons of people with nothing at all. Bellevue, in Washington. I spent, as you can imagine, I working for Amazon. I've spent a fair amount of time up in like Seattle, in that area. Also, a lot of crazy homeless people there, and they've got the freezing cold weather to deal with. Oh, nice. I got a couple of friends who are living up there still at the moment. One of them lives in Ballard. We went up to visit him in July. It's actually a really nice sort of area. Seattle versus Bay Area. For me, the weather sells me on the Bay Area. I don't want to be. If I just wanted it to rain all day, I would go back and live in England. I don't. I don't want that. I want nice weather. Exactly, Booze. Exactly. I just want to get rained on 24/7. Why would I come here? Other than Seattle's pay is significantly higher than London's in my industry. Move to Florida. I don't want to melt. Like I can take dry heat, West Coast heat. I can't stand humidity. It destroys me. I spent like some time in the summer in like 2004 or something like that on the East Coast in Boston area in like July, and I got out of the shower and dried myself, and like 2 minutes later I felt wet again, like sweaty, sticky, like can't stand that heat. Yeah, so in London, my salary there at Amazon was, what did it reach? Somewhere in like £40,000, which is like 60,000 US dollars. But you're in London, you're in like central London. And there were people earning more than me, but there were people earning less than me. And like your rent is like, a couple of grand a month in some places. Really, in Australia? I didn't realize there's much of a tech industry there. Like I know there's some, like Atlassian. That's one company I could think of that's Australian. But not many others. Is it like you get paid more relative to the expense of living there? Oh, nice. I didn't know Google Maps was from there. That's cool. No way, is Square Australian? I guess it was, right? Now it's owned by Jack Dorsey, and he's just changed the name of it, right? The parent company is, what is it called, Block? That's cool. Are they all in like Sydney or Melbourne? I assume. Melbourne. Yeah. Oh, Google's in Sydney. I've been to Australia once. Again, that was like 2012, I think it was. I didn't go to Sydney or Melbourne or Canberra. I went to. Did I say maybe it was Canberra? No, it's Canberra is the capital, right in between Sydney and Melbourne. My Australian geography is pretty terrible. Okay, good. Got that right. So it was neither wasn't any of those three. It was further north. There's a city just like north of Sydney towards Byron Bay. Below like south of Byron Bay, north of Sydney, there's like Gold Coast, wherever the Gold Coast is. Like whatever can't remember. It was like a big place with an airport anyway. And yeah, then we stayed on the Gold Coast. We just flew into whatever that city was and spent one day there. It was nice. Yeah, super touristy. It felt like America. But with an English sense of humor. Or I guess more English. Like Australian sense of humor is unique, but it's a lot more like the English sense of humor than the American one. Yeah, it's definitely got a Vegas feel to it, especially like Surfers Paradise area. Booze, you do shampoo your kangaroos. It's true. My auntie lives in, or on the outskirts of Sydney. She moved there like 21 years ago. Haven't, never been to visit her. Even when I was like not that far away, still didn't go and see her. It was kind of stupid. Could have stayed there for free. Instead, we stayed in this hotel and we had like this barbecue on the beach. We came back afterwards and it was dark, and we got to our hotel room, and on the door was a spider like this, like monster spider, like the biggest spider I've ever seen in my life outside of a zoo. And it was on the hotel room door. So we're like, well, there's no way we're getting in. We're just gonna. I think I said like, just gonna go have to find another hotel. Like we're not gonna get past that spider. London is a really nice city. Yeah, if you're a banker, you're getting paid like a ridiculous amount. And the city itself is just like really nice, you know, like so much culture and stuff to do, and yeah, it's a good city. I haven't found that anywhere here. I guess New York is probably the closest, but I've only been to New York for a few days, and it's colder. I don't want to be freezing cold. I also don't want to be a banker. What am I supposed to be doing here? Day 2, dive. Yeah. Hey Booze, how's your homework going? He's not really 13. Now you need to figure out how to pilot this thing. It seems like the submarine could take a series of commands like forward 1, down 2, or up 3. Oh no, here we go. You type one paragraph. That deserves a break. You get to play some Rocket League. Forward X increases the horizontal position by X units. Down X increases the depth by X units. See, that seems backwards. Because I guess you're starting from sea level and going down, but I'm thinking of it like a plane. Up X decreases the depth by X units. I don't want to be measuring depth? Anyway, whatever. It's because the bottom of the ocean is not flat. Unless you're an insane person. Note that since you're on a submarine, down and up affect your depth. And so they have the opposite result of what you might expect. That's exactly what I was just moaning about. The submarine seems to already have a planned course, a puzzle input. You should probably figure out where it's going. For example, forward 5, down 5, forward 8, up 3, down 8, forward 2. Why is it going up 3 then down 8? That's... You would just go down 5, wouldn't you? Your horizontal position and depth both start at 0. The steps above would then modify them as follows. So I've got to track basically your X and Y. This is just like game programming. But without like having to measure it every tick. After following, well, the ticks are just lines in the input. After following these instructions, you would have a horizontal position of 15 and a depth of 10. Multiplying these together produces 150. Calculate. Why am I multiplying them together? Calculate the horizontal position and depth you would have after following the planned course. What do you get if you multiply a final horizontal position by a final depth? To begin, get your puzzle input. Right, let's get that. Let's switch back to the IDE. Create a new text file. Don't need a trailing new line. I don't think it even keeps track of the seafloor. Like, all the stuff that was in day 1, I think gets just thrown out of the window for day 2. So, I think, like, the input won't let you hit 0. Won't let you hit the bottom. Yeah. Keep 2 variables to record your X and Y. Yeah, loop over all the input. Oops. Bar X equals... Can I do X, Y equals 0 in Kotlin? Do I have to do? I can't destructure them because it's... Okay, fine. I'll just do bar X equals 0. Bar Y equals 0. Input dot for each line val current equals, nope, it is text separated by spaces. Are you sure your input is sanitized? No. Yeah, like you would think you couldn't go further up than the top, but I would imagine it doesn't let you. I imagine the input is guaranteed not to do that, but you're right. I better check that it doesn't. For each input, right? Val direction and amount equals line dot split just by space, right? Yes. Oh yeah, that's what you've written. Use conditional formatting, yeah. I'll turn the cell green if everything's okay. Turn it red if not. That's like the almost the extent of my Excel stuff. So I want like, I mean, I would have these as an enum, but up. Yeah, I could wend them. Down, forward, down, and up are the only options. And direction. Forward. Down. Up. You're way out of your element. Can we talk about financing? Financing what? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, amount needs to be converted to an integer. Just gonna trust that they're all correct. Okay, now I can do my plus equals. Yeah. Y depth equals, yeah. And y minus equals for each is that when that's over with, turn x multiplied by y. Oh, yeah, I don't have a return type on this. What's that gonna print? Anyway, there's no return type on it. Code you an NFT. Whoa. I have a feeling this is going to be off, but I just want to, like you said, potentially averaged. I never checked to see if I got higher than the top of the ocean. It never went higher than the top of the ocean, so everything's fine. Or they don't care if you do. I don't even know how you code an NFT. I don't know much about NFTs. I thought it was like, I guess anything you produce is an NFT. You can have an NFT for it. I have no clue. I don't think that's like the future. I'm not a genius. Based on your calculations, the planned course doesn't seem to make any sense. Cool. You find the submarine manual and discover that the process is actually slightly more complicated. Hi, bestie. Am I still on your TV, Booze? In addition to horizontal position and depth, you'll also need to track a third value, aim, which also starts at 0. The commands also mean something entirely different than you first thought. Down increases your aim by X units. Up, did I say that wrong? Down increases your aim by X units. Up decreases your aim by X units. Forward X does two things. It increases your horizontal position by X units, and it increases your depth by your aim multiplied by X. So your aim tilts your submarine, and then forward moves you Yeah. Moves you along that. Again, note that since you're on a submarine, down and up do the opposite of what you might expect. Down means aiming in the positive direction. Now, the above example does something different. Forward 5 adds 5 to your horizontal position, a total of 5. Because your aim is 0, you're flat, your depth does not change. Down 5 adds 5 to your aim, so now you're pointing like slightly down, resulting in a value of 5. Forward 8 adds 8 to your horizontal position, to a total of 13. And because your aim is 5, your depth increases by 40. So you've gone very far down. Up 3 decreases your aim by 3. So you're still pointing down. Down 8, again, changes your aim, resulting in a value of 10. Forward 2 adds 2 to your horizontal position, a total of 15. Because your aim is 10, your depth increases by 2 times 10, to a total of 60. After following these new instructions, you would have a horizontal position of 15 and a depth of 60. Multiplying these produces 900. Nice round number. Using this new interpretation of the commands, calculate the horizontal position and depth you would have after following the planned course. What do you get if you multiply your final horizontal position by your final depth? Alright. Yep. So I just need another variable to track and a slight change in what this does. Y doesn't change when this is, so aim changes when they say up and down. Forward does that, so Y plus equals integer dot parse int amount times aim. What have I got wrong here? Oh. Is that it? Oh crap, I've done that in the part 1 method. Let's copy that and undo my change. Right. Part 2. Paste that in. Let's just run it. What's the worst that could happen? Oof. Straight away. One of my friends a long time ago said that he likes it when his code compiles first time. It's like Christmas, but less often. And this doesn't really count because I can tell if it's going to compile straight away. But yeah, that's that. That's 4. Yeah, if your code compiles first time, you just got a runtime error instead of a compile time error. You just don't know what your bugs are. Alright. Number 3. Binary diagnostic. Okay, I am just going to go and get a drink. I'll be back momentarily. Hello, if anyone's still there. I hate leaving a stream when I'm in the middle of it. Would I say that I'm pretty patriotic for America? I mean, I just said patriotic instead of patriotic, so no. I'm not American, why would I be? How is it even possible? What's the definition of patriotic? Isn't it for your own country? Having or expressing devotion to and vigorous support for one's country. Do I support America? In what? I support America in the World Series. Yeah, lots of good and bad. Definitely true. Like, I'm not moving away, but there's certainly, you know, lots of concerns that I have here that I wouldn't have if I lived in England. Okay, what's your question, Booze? I know this is going to be good, just from the build-up. I'm going to have a drink before you do. I have seasonal tree beer. Cheers. It's your birthday, so I'm going to let you get away with that without any further comment. That's disgusting. Yeah, my son has one that's just the same. We try and wear them at the same time if possible. A priest, a monk, and a rabbit. Did you mean to say rabbi? Damn it. I picked up on the typo before I read the rest of the joke. You have a question, shrewd user. For me or for Booze? Would I settle in the USA permanently? So I just bought my second house here. I've been here for 6 years. My wife and I had a son here, and we just moved to the house we're in now so that my son could go to the schools in this area. So we don't have any plan to move, but I'm also not like applying for citizenship or anything. Like, as long as I can keep going on the green card, I would probably just keep going on the green card. I could have joint citizenship between the UK and the US. But my wife is Singaporean, so she could not get joint citizenship. If she takes US citizenship, she has to renounce Singaporean citizenship. Yeah, I mean, I do like the USA. It's a nice place. There is USB. Godfather? Oh, for your kid. That would explain the dad jokes. Terrible, terrible dad jokes. Shrewd user, what's the reason why you couldn't settle here permanently? Multiple reasons, just the weirdness, or the disparity, or the politics? San Francisco has BART and Muni, which is more than any of the cities I actually live in. But it is kind of dumb that all the BART tracks go through the exact same part of San Francisco, just straight along Embarcadero. Muni's pretty good, but I never used it. When I lived there, I could just walk from where I lived to where I worked. And actually, yeah, you're right. I used to take a lot of Ubers. So, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, and all the people I worked with, they had cars, or a few of them at least. They like lived in San Francisco and they'd have a car and they would park on the street. There was one person I worked with, and every month or so, she'd get a parking ticket because she forgot to move her car for street cleaning, like every Tuesday or whatever it was. It's like, just, I mean, all she would do is commute to work. Like, she wouldn't even drive to work, as I think. And the rest of the time, just, I don't know, just rent a car. BART is not that bad. For me. Yeah, we bought a car when we lived there, too. But that was because we wanted to drive away from San Francisco to see other things and do other stuff. Around San Francisco, I never drove around San Francisco itself. There was no real need. But now I live, like, further away. Definitely have to have a car. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never had a car in London right up until just before I moved away from there to here. I didn't even pass my driving test in the UK till I was 30. I passed it here in the US when I was here as a student in like 2003, because you have to drive here. But then when I went back to the UK, I went back to not driving for like nearly 10 years. You just don't need it. But then I wanted to go and see other parts of. I enjoyed London, but I'd been there for like 4 or 5 years or something, so I wanted to go see other parts of the UK without having to rely on the train to get there and then walking on the other side. So I got a car, and I did street parking in London, which sucked. I did go to the Google campus. Well, okay, I've been to the Google campus in Mountain View, and I've been to a Google office in London. At my work, I believe we get free snacks. Not all of our meals, but I've worked at my current company for just over a year, and for that entire time I've been remote. So I've never been to my company's office before. I don't have a desk. So I've never seen the kitchen or anything. I don't know. I don't know what it's like. I think there are just snacks and drinks. But I guess I'll find out next year sometime. I don't know if I'm a big fan of like, here are your meals. You stay here. I've been to the Facebook campus briefly. Not for any like event or anything like that. I forget why I was there now. I think maybe my wife had some event there or something. Or no, her friend worked for Facebook and she could bring a guest in to experience it. I think that was it. Yeah, I was tempted to go interview at Facebook. Just, I mean, the compensation, it's just mind blowing compared to like some of the companies I was interviewing with. But not a big Facebook fan. Not a big fan of the like making everyone hate each other sort of thing that seems to be common on the platform. Yeah, the interviews are a pain. Booze, do you even know what that means? Whoa. Did you know what it meant before you copied that from Wikipedia? Yeah, I got it. It's a good joke if you're a nerd. Yeah. Yeah, Booze, you're basically a programmer, and you didn't know. A dad programmer. Now you just gotta be a dad. Top tier coding jokes. Is that the only one? The off by one joke? There are three types of people. One? Oh. Yeah, I know the 1-0 types of people joke. That's as old as the hills, that joke. Do you understand binary? You're about to. There are two hard things in computer science: cache invalidation, naming things, and off by one errors. Absolutely. Naming things, oh my god. I'll have like an idea for something that I want to write, and I will, like, the first thing IntelliJ makes you do, or Android Studio, is name the project. And it's like, I'm going to be stuck with whatever I write here, so I better spend a good 15 minutes on it. It's like, type Greek god names to do with knowledge, Greek god names to do with whatever, something related to what I'm searching for. Naming isn't possible. Cache invalidation. I guess that could be difficult. And off by one errors. I mean, I must have hit 4 off by one errors this evening. There's 3 really, but that was an off by one error. I can't believe you found I can't believe you found jokes that also have explanations. Like, it's a very niche website. Programmer jokes for people who don't get them. Yes, I know the joke itself is an off by one error. There are 2 hard things, and then there's a list of 3. I got it. It's a good one. Booze will probably post a 40-line explanation of it when he finds that joke on the website in a few minutes. Alright, I'm gonna look at day 3. Wait. How are we on day 3? December 1st? Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. Of course, in, like, the UK and most of the world, it's already the 3rd of December. The submarine has been making some odd creaking noises, so you ask it to produce a diagnostic report just in case. Hey submarine, produce a diagnostic report, please. The diagnostic report, your puzzle input, consists of a list of binary numbers, which, when decoded properly, can tell you many useful things about the conditions of the submarine. The first parameter to check is the power consumption. You need to use the binary numbers in the diagnostic report to generate 2 new binary numbers called the gamma rate and the epsilon rate. The power consumption can then be found by multiplying gamma and epsilon. Each bit in the gamma rate can be determined by finding the most common bit in the corresponding position. This is where it would have been much more useful if I had spent longer paying attention in school. And also if I'd done a lot of really low-level programming, which I haven't. Whoa. There are 2 ways to write error-free programs. Only the third one works. Thanks, Booze. Yeah. Yeah, you just keep explaining them. I don't get them. Way above my head. So each bit in the gamma rate can be determined by finding the most common bit in the corresponding position. I'm going to need an example because I don't know the terminology. Booze, can you help me with this? Is your Excel knowledge good enough for this? For example, given the following diagnostic report, blah, 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 blah. Considering only the first bit of each number, there are 5 0 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. First bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I consider this the first bit in a binary number. Oh, I see. I was thinking most common bit had some specific meaning. It's just the position 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the most common 0 or 1. Okay. These are just strings, really. Equals sum. Yep, good start. Considering only the first bit of each number, there are 5 0 bits and 7 1 bits. Since the most common bit is 1, the first bit of the gamma rate is 1. Okay. Equals sum. Simple. The most common second bit of the numbers in the diagnostic report is 0. So the second bit of the gamma rate is 0. The most common value of the third, fourth, fifth, the 1, 1, and 0, respectively. So the final 3-bit rate, blah, blah, blah. So you've got 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, which is 22 in decimal. The epsilon rate is calculated in a similar way. Rather than use the most common, it's the least common. So it's just the opposite of that. Multiplying the gamma rate 22 by the epsilon rate 9 produces the power consumption 198. So I feel like for this to retrieve that, there's probably some like bitwise operator I can do that just flips it. What is it going to be? It's just a not operation, right? God, it's been It's been a really long time since I've done any of this like binary bit manipulation. I think the last time I did this was in Perl in like early 2000s. Just don't do it in my day-to-day job. Multiplying one by the other produces power consumption. Use the binary numbers in your diagnostic report to calculate the gamma rate and epsilon rate, then multiply them together. What is the power consumption by the summary? Let's get my puzzle input. We're on day 3 already. I haven't committed my day 2 code yet. Day 2 complete. Wow. What did I do? Part 1, again, is just a for each loop. For each. And then for each with a when statement. Whatever. just need a new Kotlin file. I don't want a class. Day03. A new file. Let's call it day03.txt. Should we get ignored? I'm sure there's a bit manipulation. Who's I can't flip reset. You know I can't. Garbage. What am I going to be returning? An int? No doubt. I'm going to be returning an int here too. The redneck simulator game. You'd rather watch me write code than hunt a black bear. I haven't played that again since then. Oof. Input list string. 0, just placeholder. I did get this new game called, what was it called? Should have started that sentence when I knew what I was going to say. While true learn. While true learn. You're a machine learning specialist who makes, let me just, oh wait. You're a machine learning specialist who makes neural networks. What's happened? What happened? I just got a notification. Oh. Thank you, shrewd user, for the follow. I just got an email. I got, nothing popped up on my screen like it normally does. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're a machine learning specialist who makes neural networks, but your cat seems to be better at it. If I had a cat, it would probably be as good at neural networks as I am. Now you must solve puzzles to build a cat-to-human translation system. Who knows what else this cat is capable of? You see here, this should be a question mark. Earn a fortune, buy kick-ass cat outfits, and learn how machine learning really works. Anyway, I got that game. I'm going to play that at some point soon. Keep an int array as your result, and then just add or minus 1, then convert your array at the end. Really, Alyssa's good at neural networks. That's good. I definitely believe that. I really want to do some sort of artificial intelligence. I love watching these YouTube videos of people writing, like using, it's called a NEAT algorithm. Neural. Totally forgot what it stands for. Something topologies. Augmented. Neuroevolution of augmenting topologies. Anyway, it's very interesting if you're like me, but people use it to like play Snake or play Flappy Bird or whatever, and it learns, and the inputs and the outputs go through this neural network, and as each generation goes, it gets better and better, hopefully, and then results in a thing that is perfect at playing that game, depending on, you know, how complicated the inputs and outputs are and how long you leave it running. I find those things fascinating to watch. It's like watching life be created almost. I wanna find some project to implement that for, but I don't have one. I don't just want to do Flappy Bird again. Everyone's done that. I thought someone was laughing behind me because of the song. Can you hear the music, by the way? Is it pointlessly quiet? Is it annoyingly loud? Would you prefer dead silence? It's very low. See, I don't want it to be too loud when you're talking about like a complex subject. Pointlessly quiet. Okay. What if I do this? How about that? I don't want the only sound to just be me blabbering on about whatever is crossing my mind. Okay, good. Totally wasn't really paying attention to all of this. But so I'm going to assume that all the inputs are the same length. They are. All right. Maybe a little louder. You prefer space. There you go. Bumped up a little bit. So, for each. Jazzy. It's what have we got on? Chill lo-fi hip hop, copyright free, chill hop music. I don't want to get sued. By the RIAA. They're still doing that. I guess I get the DMCA takedown or whatever it is. Dot split. What's... If I just give it a blank string, will it split every character? Okay. What's my SoundCloud rap name? Split on new lines. I've already, so each line is already read in as its own. Each entry in this input is a line. So this would be input 0, input 1, input 2. So now I'm splitting on every character, I hope, if this is Kotlin's line.split. Let's just see. Print line, it. Let's just see what I get. I should get a line with each. I should get a massive shit ton of lines, actually. If I just get a shit ton of lines. I was gonna limit it to just the first one, but I don't really care. Oh. It's important to read the right input. Okay, I was like, where are these two random zeros coming from? But that's this. You think keep a result array with like one position in the array for each character. I want two arrays, right? So I want like gamma, which is an array. Mutable list of int. And then just invert it. Yeah. Everything that's a 0 is a 1, and everything that's 1 is a 0. But I need the resulting... Yeah. You're right. I'll call this one gamma, and epsilon will just be the calculated thing. Or you could +1 or -1 depending on if you have 0 and 1, and then just check if it's positive or negative. Yeah. Yeah, for every 1 you add 1, for every 0 you subtract 1, and then you're just left with the result. I like that because then you don't have to keep track, you just got the thing at the end. If I want for each indexed here. Indexed? Yes, because I need the index of the input to update the position of gamma. Bit. Gamma index. Hang on. If bit. It's either gonna be a 1 or a 0. Equals 1. What's wrong? Oh, gotta pause it as an integer. There's gotta be a nicer way of doing this. I don't like it. Bit equals. Wait, I don't need to. It's a 0 or 1, I don't need to. I just treat it as a string, I don't care. If bit equals 1. Gamma. Finish your paper. 2 paragraphs, booze. Yes, I did. I missed the position there. Do I? Will it not be initialized? I'm gonna try and add something to... I think the default is gonna be 0. I think it's gonna be okay. Let's print line. Let's just print it. Let's just see what it gives us. Ooh. Index out of bounds. Index 0 out of bounds for length 0. Gamma, yeah, okay. You're right. I need to give it an initial length. Can I give it an initial length here? No, because it's not an array, it's a list. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is cheating. That's 12, right? Yeesh. Index 12. Out of bounds for length 12. Don't need this because it knows those are integers. This can be a val because it's a mutable list. How big are the lines? They're 12. Right? Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Index. Am I getting the new line? Splits this character sequence to a list of strings around occurrences of the specified delimiters. One or more strings. True to ignore character case. Yeah, don't care about that. That doesn't matter. That's a good call. One, 1, 0, 0. Yep. Surely there's a like split. There is no new line at the beginning of the file. It reaches the end here and then it chokes on the first one. There's nothing above it. Surely there's a split. Let me just... It's gonna be a split and I don't give a crap about new lines. Nope. I could just trim it, right? Line dot trim dot split. What? Does trim just get rid of spaces and not the new line? What am I missing here? Up here. Index 13, out of bounds. Huh? Index 13. Am I not resetting? What is going on? Yeah. gamma size 12. The first line has that the bit is an empty string. Index is 0. Let's go to the next one. Wait, bit was an empty string? Let me stop this. Let me stop this and start that again. The first time we come through, the index is 0. Oh, I'm getting the... There's no space there. I'm pressing left. And you can see at the bottom here, my position is 1, 1. There's no space there. But I think splitting on a blank string gives you the thing before the first one. You know what I mean? There's definitely no space there. Like, backspace, backspace, backspace. Split with no delimiter is not an option. I can just ignore the first one. Index equals 0. Return for each indexed. Okay, so the first one is 1. At least now that's correct. The first iteration I'm getting bit 1. Second, 0. 1, 0, so it should be 1 bit equals 1. I know the text is probably incredibly small in the debugger. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Another 1, 0, 0. So now we've reached the end. So that's where it blows up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. I feel like I'm going crazy. If index is greater than gamma.size, print line index equals index. Failing before that. That doesn't make sense. I guess there's I guess the split also gives you the thing after. I think I just need also. Nearly. Split is the wrong. This is the wrong thing here. Son of a... Oh. Yeah, size minus. Size minus 1? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Interesting that the first one is exactly 0. This is exactly like working at home, except I always work at home. I'm a software developer full-time.
Nearly.
And also in my spare time. So for the first one, it's exactly 0. It's exactly even. Is that right? There's no most common or least common? Did I change my description? What do you mean, Booze? Shrewd user, why don't you... why do you think it's not even? It starts as 0. It adds 1 for every 1, and it subtracts 1 for every... No, that's been there the whole time, Booze. It adds 1 if it's 1. Okay, that's annoying. If it's 1, then it adds 1. Otherwise, it subtracts 1. It adds -1. I'm not going to go through 1,000 lines and check, but I think it's 1,000 lines. Yeah. So it could be exactly even. Let me just switch back to the thing and let me see if it's even. I hope this wasn't like randomly generated input for me and I just hit like a edge case. Yeah. Interesting. I'm sure this is on purpose. I'm sure this was definitely done to catch people out. Handle your corner cases. The chances of hitting that exactly otherwise pretty damn slim. So, all right. I've totally forgotten what I was actually supposed to do. So I need the output and the opposite of the output. I'm just going to do this in a lazy way to start with. I might come back and change it. If it's greater than 0, we're leaving 0 at 0. If it's greater than 0, can I change the value? It equals 1. No. Oh. One 0 is 1. Less than 1 is a 0, yeah. If item is greater than that, gamma, I'm just getting 0s and 1s in the gamma thing for now, and then I can print it, and then I can invert it later. Gamma index equals 1. So I'm replacing every these large numbers with basic numbers. Else, can extract that gamma x equals let's just check I've got zeros and ones. Beautiful. I want to solve it in code. Oh yeah, now I've got it. Now all I've got is an array of integers. I don't have a binary number. So, okay, this would be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16 plus 32 plus 64. 16 plus 32 plus 64. 128, no, plus 256. Plus 512. Plus 1024. 1904. Multiplied by the opposite of that. So that's 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8, not plus 16, 32, or 64, but plus 128. Plus 2048. 2191. Which is 1904 multiplied by 2191. Let's just see how wrong we are. That is, what is the power consumption? Be sure. Multiply gamma by epsilon. Crap. Your answer is too high. What do you mean fold it? It is, right? That's what we did. Let me just double check. If it's more than a 0, then it's a 1. If it is a 0, then it's a 0. Should it? Let me just reread. Rather than use the most common bit, the least common bit is used. These are just opposites of each other. Just reading the messages again, trying to make sense. Don't invert. the most significant bit. We decided that even, so if there's an even number of ones or zeros, it's 0. Right, so for the first one, it's always going to be a 0. So if I subtract 2048 from that, have I done that? Is that right in my head? 2191 minus 2048, 143. Yeah, this one was a 0, even before we converted it to zeros and ones. Let me just try it. 143 multiplied by, what was the number? 1904. Still a very large number. Let's get another answer wrong. Too low. Oh, I don't need to keep track of that. I either get it right or wrong. This page is just asking for binary search to be performed on it. I must be misreading this. Considering only the first bit, the leftmost bit of each number, there are 5 bits that are 0 and 7 that are 1. The most common bit is 1, then the first bit of gamma is 1. I've got that bit right, that's not a problem. The most common second bit, so the second column, is 0, so the second bit is 0. Pretty sure I've got gamma, I'm pretty sure gamma is correct. Except it doesn't say what to do if they're the same. There is no most common value. Six divided by 2 is 3. And then what do you want me to do with that? Are you missing a multiplied by sign? The most common value of the third, fourth, and fifth bits, blah, 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 blah. So the gamma rate is a binary number that, or 22. 0, 2, plus 4, 6, plus 0, 8, plus 16. 16 plus 6, 22, yeah. Assuming you've missed a multiplication sign, or you don't want to use it, I guess that's fine. Then yeah, I would say 9. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. I mean, if I'm reading this correctly, epsilon is always going to be the inverse bitwise the inverse of gamma. I think you go... Wait, what? 2 multiplied by 2 plus 1. You go left to right, though. Right? Was it BODMAS? God, it's been a long time. You do the brackets first, you've got the 3. I forgot what the O stands for. Then division, then multiplication. Brackets, something. Division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. What on earth is the O? Orders. Powers, indices, or roots. Okay. PEMDAS. Parentheses. Something multiplication, division, addition, subtraction was E. Exponent. No. Exponents. Yeah, powers. Orders. Getting a little bit distracted here. So wait, what was your answer to this question, Booze? Okay. Just like it says here, 9. 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. Parentheses. Yep. Yeah, in this case, I don't think the parentheses really, like in the way you originally phrased it, they don't really matter. As long as you do the parentheses at some point. Before you use the contents with something else. What am I doing? I think I've got gamma wrong. And I think that's why the answer's wrong. Epsilon rate is calculated in a similar way. Rather than use the most common bit, the least common bit from each position is used. So it should be the exact opposite of gamma. But in a case where they're even, oh my god. Let's see the meme. Oh. God, what an awful banner. What? If you still want to argue, I am Indian. Cool. Epsilon rate is calculated in a similar way rather than use the most common bit, least common bit. For each position is used so the epsilon rate is blah 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 blah. I'm gonna just I'm gonna leave those there so I know which answers I've tried and got wrong so far. I am gonna just take the okay, I'm gonna use the part 2 method. I'm gonna ignore the output of part 1 for now. And I'm gonna go input dot for each line. So for each line, take the first character. Line dot take 1. First equals line dot take 1. If first equals 1. Bar 1s equals 0. Bar 0s equals 0. That's going to annoy me if I don't switch the order around there. If first equals 1, 1s plus plus. Else 0s plus plus. At the end of the loop, print line 1s equals 1s. 0s equals 0s. Alright, so now when I run it, part 2. Okay, then they're not even. So I got something wrong. Booze, I appreciate your help. There are 504 ones and 496 zeros in the first position of each line. I feel like this might be the thing that's screwing it up. Why don't I just do the same thing here? I mean, zeros. No. If bit equals 1, 1s plus plus. If bit equals 0, 0s plus plus. And then if there's some other thing going on that's even more messed up. If 1s is more than 0s. Oof. Get my parentheses. Then gamma index equals gamma index equals I'll print those. Keep doing them backwards. Did I do that outside of the loop? Shit. Just calling it top index for now. It's not a nice variable name. I thought that the result of the split, so it has got to be a problem. But originally when I added this, the split, so I added the trim after, but the split I think was giving me a blank space before. I'm not 100% sure now. It's... Zero 7. Is there a line that's too long? How many have I got here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. What have I done? What if I just do? Now I've got an integer. Is that what I wanted? No. That's not what I wanted. But actually, if I've got an integer, that's going to drop leading zeros. That's not what I want. Let me just see what's this utils line doing? It's just read lines. Reads the file content as a list of lines. Do not use this function for huge files. Character set to use, blah blah. For each line. Buffered reader, input stream reader, file input stream. What am I doing? This is working. Take the first one works. So take Well, I could just take the first 12 as an array. Val input equals no. Values. Terrible variable names here. No, I'm in too deep. This is line split. Scrap that. What was I doing? Line values equals line dot date 12. That's because I know there are 12. I'm gonna take 12 strings. Nice. That's a not so subtle clue. Ugh. What? Wait, what? Can I do that with character? I can, okay. Okay, so for each indexed, zeros and ones, take 12 things. If it's 1, increment ones. If it's 0, I'm dealing with lines. And I should be dealing with the columns. Right? I'm dealing with... Alright, booze, good night. So... What am I doing? Okay, let me think this through. Now I've changed so much. So for each line, I should be populating gamma with something. You just did what I did, but throughout the first number and last number. That's what I was doing. Let me scroll back in time. Let me Control Z back in time. Here. If the index is 0, or if it's more than the size of this 12, then return. That's what I was doing. right? Each line. Let me take a look at this. You stuck -1 in there. Yeah, the -1 is just so you can ignore the first bit and the last bit. Input dot for each. It dot trim dot split. So exactly what I was doing. Split on every character. For each of those, you got the bits. Yeah, I think that if you've still got to discard the first line, I think trim maybe is just trimming white space. Not new lines, but specifically spaced characters. Yeah, there's probably a nicer... God, it's so bright. I wish the docs were a little bit more in depth than this. If the bit is 0, result index at -1, so basically -1, otherwise add 1. Result dot for each. This is if it equals 999. I think I'm not following this. If result dot for each, result is this dot for each. If it equals 999. This is what you were saying earlier. Hang on, let me scroll back. It ends up at 999. Am I missing something? How does this end up at 999? The -1 and the -1. I'm interested to understand why the -1s resulted in the result being 999, but right, so this basically prints out the binary and then you did the conversion yourself, like I was doing earlier on. Yeah, there's no -1s on here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 2-character array. I think the 2-character array is basically the same as what I've got with this take. Take is not gonna give you this null, this empty space character or the new line at the end of the file. I think it's only going to give you that, and now values is a character array. What have I broken? Let's just... Index 12. No, I'm not sure. Oh, well, it's happening too late, isn't it? It's because I've got these in as nested things, and the thing I'm operating on here is the line. And I'm not doing the plus equals anymore. But still gonna give me the same exception. But here, oh, okay, that's definitely a different input from last time. So that's 2048 plus 1024 plus 512 3584 3584 multiplied by, what am I doing here? So 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32 plus 64 plus 128 2048 124 512 plus 256 511. That's different from what you had. Oh, I'm doing it. I need to do this outside of this loop. What is this song? It's most definitely not copyright free. Better stop that before I get sued. I think, yeah, if I want to just start it again, to be honest. Royalty free, lo-fi hip hop. Please be not terrible. Yeah, I think I've got my dimension wrong. And I think partially I'm reading what you're writing, I'm reading your code, and then I'm trying to apply that to mine and in the wrong place. Oh, hang on. Input. So for each individual line, so for each line in there, I'm just gonna end up writing the same thing on there. I can feel it. For each thing in there, you're right, I can't do var ones and zeros here. I should just be putting them into an array, like adding a number up in an array and then determining whether it's a 1 or a 0 afterwards. Yeah, because I'm operating on the line, not the column again. Yeah. Line. I thought I should have made it clear enough when I called it line the first time, right? So for each line, and then I gotta convert each line to a character array, yes. And then for every item in the character array, if it's 1, then I add 1 to the gamma, and if it's 0, I subtract 1 from gamma for the index. So I need for each index, right? Well, yeah, just count ones. The 0 is going to stay zeros. For each indexed. Plus 1s and minus 1s for 1s and 0s works well. Plus 1s and minus 1s. Line.toCharacter array. .for indexed. I keep getting distracted. I read chat and then I go back and I've lost my train of thought on what I was writing. My own fault. Gamma plus equals bit if bit 1 else minus 1. Yeah. Pair programming via Twitch chat. No thank you. I'm glad I don't have to do this for my job. That's what Zoom's for. gamma plus equals blah 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 blah. So then once that line is done, then gamma's correct. Once the whole thing is done, then it's done. So that's all the looping I need to do, right? Oh yeah, gamma, I need to set not the whole of gamma. I'm setting the entire array to 1 or minus 1. I wonder what that would have left me with. Right, and then this is similar to what I had previously, like I mean, I don't actually need to convert this to, let me just print it. I can do that in my head. So that is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 plus 64 plus 128 plus 512 plus 1024 plus 2048 3808 I don't know if this is right. Plus multiply by 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1, 2, 4 plus 8 plus 16. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. These numbers are not the same as your numbers, are they? Nope. Gamma.map if it, well, yeah. So that's updated gamma. Now print like gamma. So what the hell did I do? Oh my god. Rating with 44. Welcome in. Yes, operator. You just been doing some yourself? Some advent of code? Is this not the same as what I already had? Hello everyone. I've just been beating my head against this for far too long. I've had some help here from Shrewd User. The binary does look wrong. The binary is the same as what I was converting to binary in my head on the fly. Like we got 8, which would be 1, 16, which would be 1, 10 would be 1. A negative number would be 0. Damn. I only started it today, so I've done day 1. Yeah, in Kotlin. I don't know if you guys, what language have you guys been solving them in? I did 1, not +1. Ah, not the text file. I have here the plus equals. I did it in Excel. You just missed a guy in here called Booze who was trying to. He's not a developer, and he was talking about Excel. He just kept writing partial Excel formulae. Every line started with equals sum. He wanted some conditional formatting in here. Go is interesting. I've only written Go like twice. Is Kotlin just shortened Java? It's it's not entirely a Java. It's a complicated question. I use it as a shortened Java, like much nicer Java. For my job, I'm an Android developer, so when Kotlin came along, I was extremely happy. I started out as like a Perl developer way back in the day, and so I could switch from Java's insane, like, just boilerplate nonsense to something that felt a lot more like Perl again, without actually having to write Perl. Functions are fun. Look, everything in here is fun. We've got fun within fun. Nested fun. Hey, I'm not like, what's going on? Oh dear. My network dropping? How do I feel about tips? As in, help on the solutions? Yeah, that everything was lagging. My music was stopping and everything for a second there. That was weird. Odd. I just moved into this house and I got 1000 megabit up, 1000 megabit down, which is nice. Yeah, I dissed Pearl and Larry Wall got angry. Was it Larry Wall? I mean, I've just been sitting here taking help on the solution from from Booze, who was trying to help me via Excel, and from Shrewd User, who's been helping me in Kotlin. For a little while, I was operating on lines instead of columns here. God knows what I was thinking. You think my -1 should be a 0? I guess that works as well, but doesn't this handle that case? This is IntelliJ. Well, that doesn't help. Now they're all positive. That's definitely not right. Yes, this is Kotlin in IntelliJ. -14. How are we getting such different answers? Am I doing... If you do a quick sum, Kotlin is a really nice language. It is to, in the mobile development world, it is to Java what Swift is to Objective-C. Just much less boilerplate. Get a lot more done. Like, it's developed by JetBrains. Yeah, pretty much. Google has recommended it as the like supported language for Android development, and I'm glad. It's so nice to use. Like, after years and years of Java, it's a pleasure. It takes a lot of minor changes. Like, you can write Kotlin exactly how you would write Java, but you probably shouldn't. There's a lot of nice, like, syntactic sugar stuff you can do that just will make your life easier. I can't see where I'm going wrong here. I did like Go when I tried writing it for, what was it? Hacktoberfest recently. In October, I was struggling to find anywhere that would take contributions in Kotlin that weren't like, hey, write this example for me for my Android app, or write like this ginormous feature for my Android app in Kotlin. I was like, no, thank you. I don't have time for that. But I found some stuff in Go, and I thought that'd be interesting to learn, so I gave it a go. I found it pretty nice. Syntax took some getting used to. Gamma looks right to you? Can I not do binary? So gamma is the most common bit. Sigma is the exact opposite of gamma, right? So if, like, every 1 is a 0 and every 0 is a 1, and then you convert those to decimal numbers and multiply them. I feel like let me just do my addition again. Maybe I side at 2 or something stupid like that in binary. So we've got 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 plus 64 plus 128 plus 512 plus 1024 plus 2048. 3808. That's what I got. Shrewd user is getting, what was it, 1337 times 2758. Yeah, I don't need that index, right? That's never being used. And using it would be confusing. I don't need to know which line I'm on. So for each line, convert the characters on the line to a character array. And for each bit on there, did I like copy and paste this wrong? 1,000 lines, 12 characters long all the way through. But for each bit on that given line, gamma, which is this mutable list, gamma inner index, so position of the bit that we're on, add, if the bit is 1, add 1. Otherwise, I was writing that. I was doing that originally, but I mean, if the numbers I'm getting don't match the numbers, so the numbers Shrewd User's getting, the 1337, that seems like that would be something they would put in there as a little Easter egg. That seems right. But you think I'm actually doing my binary? I can't count in binary. Let me do it with my fingers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You submitted it, it's right. So somewhere it's definitely going wrong here, because there's no way. This 2048, 1024, and 512, that's way over the 1337. And it's over just in the most significant digit. Oh god. Are the inputs different? Oh my god. Well, that was a pretty bad assumption. Alright. So, hang on. I didn't submit the answer that I did a minute ago because it didn't match. It didn't match what Shrewd User had. Oh my god. Jeez Louise. I've had the right answer for like several minutes. When did it like... Oh my god. Unbelievable. Let me just hold Control Z, and all the people who are new to the stream can see the see the process I've gone through to get to this point. Is that it? Is that? I guess I've gone back as far as it'll let me go back. Anyway, look at this. There's a lot more to it than that. I guess IntelliJ ran out of memory. Yes. This is your input. There are many like it, but this one is yours. Is that Full Metal Jacket quote? Like, apart from not input, but rifle. Oh dear. I always do that when I raid someone. I leave my stream going. I'm probably like sitting there picking my nose, or you know, standing up, not wearing any pants. Alright, so I don't need that. I do that all the time. I'm not gonna bother returning the number. I don't need to. I just printed it and did the calculation in my head. That's good looking out, that is. Yeah, so the 1337, I was like, yep, Easter egg, that must be it. And also, so when you go to the website, and it's like, here's your input. You can still get your puzzle input. The URL is just so generic that I just stupidly assume, you know, that doesn't make any sense. Because they've gone to the effort of adding the text files to the git ignore. It's kind of obvious now. I think whoever produced, whichever intern produced the input files did that one on purpose. There's no way that's accidental. In something given to a bunch of programmers, there's no way that you get leak accidentally. Aneurysm, I should have, I should have checked that. I actually should have just checked the answer that I came up with to see if it was right. They're all generated randomly? No way. Then the chances of that are really slim. Shrewd user, you got like special account. I can delete this from part 2, which I was doing. Just try and get that working. It knows you'll leave. It does. And it knows I am definitely not. What did I get? 3808. Does that mean anything? Let me just see. Meaning of 3808, just in case it's a special number. Ooh. Apparently it's an angel number. Angel number 3808 is the path to wealth, luck, and success. It is for you to pursue its teachings for personal growth and eternal sustenance. Great. So when I was first looking at this, God knows what I was doing, but I got exactly 500 ones and 500 zeros in the first column. Obviously that was wrong, but I was like reading through the instructions again and again, like, what do I do if they're the same? It's like, which one's most common, which one's least common, if they're the same? Total misdirection. If somebody gets that as their answer, then you know these are not random. Shrewd user. What am I at now? 5? 5 stars. Alright, I'm gonna try part 2. But it is 12:30 where I am. Oh no. Forgive me if I pronounce anyone's names wrong, but Zere? Zere? Part 2 is fun. Did you consider part 1 fun? Holy crap. Alright, I'm gonna read through this real quick. Next, you should verify the life support rating. Who designed this system? Hey, to get the power, you've got to take these 1,000 lines and then turn them... What? Next, you should verify the life support rating, which can be determined by multiplying the oxygen generator rating by the CO2 scrubber rating. Both the oxygen generator rating and the CO2 scrubber rating are values that can be found in your diagnostic report. Finding them is the tricky part. Both values are located using a similar process that involves filtering out values until only one remains. So in Kotlin, I can use a sequence for this to make it run faster. Okay, how long did part 1 take you? In minutes as a rough estimate. So this is like assuming that, yeah, I'm exactly like assuming the same ratio for me. This is going to take me about 4 weeks to solve part 2. Where on earth was I? Involves filtering out values until only one remains. Before searching for either rating value, start with the full list of binary numbers from your diagnostic report and consider just the first bit of those numbers. Damn it, that's almost exactly what I had. I just take the first bit, look. Consider just the first bit. Then keep only numbers selected by the bit criteria. Is this a term mentioned before? No. For the type of rating value for which you are searching. Discard numbers which do not match the bit criteria. So the bit criteria are here, okay. Discard numbers which do not match the bit criteria. I feel like if you have to write this much text to describe it, that's a problem. Okay. I think I follow it so far. If you only have one number left, stop. This is the rating value for which you are searching. Otherwise, repeat the process, considering the next bit to the right. Okay, so take the first column, the bits in the first column. I'm treating it like it's Excel. Take column A of all the bits, apply the filters. If you're left with nothing, then the value is not in that one. So you go on to the second column, apply the same criteria to that one, and so on until you get only one result left. When you filter, when you've applied all the filters, if you've got one result left, that's the answer. The bit criteria depends on which type of rating value you want to find. To find the oxygen generator rating, determine the most common value, 0 or 1, in the current bit position, and keep only numbers with that bit in that position. Let me read that again in English. To find oxygen generator rating, determine the most common value in the current bit position, which is what I was doing before, and keep only numbers with that bit in that position. So if there's like 0, 1, if there's 5 and it's 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, I would keep, and I'm looking for 1, then I would keep 3 ones. If 0 and 1 are equally common, keep values with a 1. Keep values with a 1 in the position being considered. Right. To find CO2 scrubber rating, determine the least common value, which I already did, in the current bit position, and keep only numbers with that bit. So then I would have 0 and 0. For example, here we go. Let's get to the oxygen generator rating value using the same example diagnostic report from above. Start with all 12 numbers and consider only the first bit of each number. There are more 1 bits than 0 bits, so keep only the 7 numbers with a 1 in the first position. Oh. Keep the whole row. The whole line. Okay, okay. I was thinking you just keep... Yeah. That's more clear. Yeah, I feel like if I got started, I'd be halfway through. Yeah. Hey, it's nice to have actual requirements outlined before I start writing code. That's something I don't always get. Imagine if the requirements you got at work were like this specific. That'd be incredible. Then consider the second bit of the 7 remaining numbers. There are more 0 bits than 4. Oh, right. Yeah, so I'm just filtering down the total list of lines. In the third position, 3 of the 4 numbers have a 1, so keep these. Okay. In the fifth position, they're an equal number, so we would use 1. As there is only 1 number left, stop. The oxygen generator rating is 23. And then to determine this one, so I'm just constructing. I have a list of lines. I filter out all the lines that don't. To get the first one, I filter out all the lines where the most common thing is not 1. Well, I could just put, yeah, I'll do the check and I'll put 1 in one result, 1 in the other result. And then I've got the values for both. You're a PM. If yeah. Sadly, I don't think user requirements are usually like this. Not quite so simple. Not simple, but specific. In the third position, they're an equal. This is just repeating this, basically, right? There's no difference. Finally, to find the life support rating, multiply one number by the other decimal number. All right. Let's just get going. I'm gonna start from scratch from here. Don't care about that. Well, when I say start from scratch, What are the 2 values? CO2 and what? Oxygen and CO2. Let me think. Is it CO2 or is it C02? Cut is O for oxygen. I thought it, for a second, I was thinking it was one of those things where people say O when they mean 0, like in phone numbers. Yeah. Yeah. Just had to think for a second. I hate it when people say "oh" for a phone number. Drives me crazy. 0800. No. 0800. So, for each line... Crap, I did this last time. I just started modifying part 1. But for each line of input, I need to build the same thing, don't I? I do. I need to build the same thing. This is my equivalent of gamma. This is what I'll work on. That should be... I can just copy that. Oh crap. Press Windows key. So I thought I was on a Mac. Just pressing command. But I'm not. Thank you. Have a good night. Thanks for coming in and saying hi and helping. It's good that you say 0. It's good to be correct. Initial index. But this character, not a string. Huh. Initial index. What? Oh. Yeah. Plus equals if. Oh, I didn't write the 1. I'd be interested to check out some other solutions, actually. Are there plenty of people doing the Advent of Code on Twitch? I didn't even look before I started streaming. The result. What have I done here? All stuck on part 2. I have a feeling that's going to be me. if I'm not making much progress in 15 minutes, I'll find somebody else who's on and raid them. Because it's getting pretty late here and I have work. Half day tomorrow though, only a half day. I can catch up. So this result here is the equivalent of this here in from part 1. I've gone wrong already, haven't I? It's that description, I swear it's that description. Start with all 12 numbers and consider only the first bit of each. Start with all 12. These 12 numbers. I've got to discard all the other ones.
We could all benefit from a little bit more perspective. What do you mean? Wanted to start
That's not a bad idea.
Everyone feels small.
Not bad at all.
Go and check. Makes you feel human. And all those stupid, insignificant problems that we stress out about on a daily basis just really don't seem to matter at all anymore.
That's beautiful.
I don't know why it does the print line thing here. I don't really want to print it. I can print from within the method. I'm just creating it in a separate method. I don't really know why I've done that, because the input I'm passing here is wrong anyway. Okay, 03 text. There we go. That's better. Yes, sorry, it's duplicated code. Sorry, IntelliJ. What do you want to do about it? Nothing. Oh, I forgot to transition between scenes. Okay. I've created a part 2 test function, and I am calling that with the input from the test file that I just created with the values, the 12 lines, the like simple case, just like you were saying. And I've duplicated, basically part 2 test is the same as part 2 for now. But I can hack on this one without losing where I got to previously. So on this one, it's actually only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I can count. So right, for each line, convert the line into a character array. And then for each character in the array, which is a bit, so my bit array, the initial index, so this array's first bit, second bit, third bit, it gets incremented based on whether it's 1 or not. And then once that's done, for each line, I think that's not giving me exactly. Oh my god. What do I need here? I need I don't just need the same thing as this. Part 1 just gives me one thing, and that's all I care about. Back to the description. Start with all 12 numbers, consider only the first bit. So, to determine the oxygen generator rating, I just need 2 digits instead of 1. Just need 2 digits instead of 1. I don't think I need initial. Why do that? I just need to duplicate them, right? So now I've got 2 copies of the same thing. And when I'm going through, I could have done that here, left the initial one and done the duplication after. No. I feel like I'm missing a whole dimension to this. Start with all 12 numbers and consider only the first bit of each number. Yeah. Then the second. So keep only the 7 numbers with the 1 in the first position. That's the bit I'm not doing yet. Let's do the first one first. Forget CO2. Okay. So I want to add to oxygen if I want some like recursive. Yeah, so what am I doing wrong here? Returns a list of all elements not matching. What? That's not what I want. It's happening on each. So now oxygen should be that, but it's a vowel, so I can't assign it. And then I need to do it again, and then again, and again, and again. So let me just check that I've got. Yikes. Am I printing? Did I stop running part 2? Yes. I'm doing that in the wrong place. Oxygen. Why is that not? Oxygen.filter. So this is going to filter all the elements. It'll operate on the element. What was I doing differently? Well, that needs to happen in a loop. I'm not doing a 2-character array. Huh? It's way too late at night. My brain is just not working. I'm just trying to get a filter basically, and it's. But I'm missing what I've turned oxygen into. Oxygen is a result of all of the lines, and it shouldn't be. I've done too much processing. I think I've gone too far in the direction of what I was doing in part 1. But just getting the description right in my head again is... it's just not... The body is willing, but the mind is weak at this point. So I think what I'm going to do is find someone to raid and come back to this tomorrow. The start is the same concept. Yeah. If there are more ones, then the oxygen value should contain those. In the first, if there are more ones in the first bit, and then in the second bit, if there are more ones, filter that. Filter to include only those, and then move on to the third bit and filter out any that don't. That's not going to happen on each one, because by the time you reach this... Just keep only the 4 numbers with this. Okay, so it does change the position. Oh god, yeah. There are more 0... Yeah, so I've got to do the most common part on each bit. Yeah. I feel like I've sort of got it in my head, but when I start writing code, I'm not doing myself any favors. I'm going to delete what I had in part 2 and come back and start with part 2 test tomorrow. I should find someone to raid. Does anyone have any suggestions for who to raid? Otherwise I have to go find someone who's doing the advent of code. Programming. Advent of code. Doesn't look like this person's doing advent of code. Here we go. Rainbow deer, whatever. In Haskell. Oof. Definitely. Rainbow deer, whatever. With 1 viewer. Alright, well. Thank you everyone for coming in. Thank you for the raid. And let's pay it forward to Rainbow Deer Whatever. Doing the same thing in Haskell, like an insane person. See you in there. In most oh, thank you. STU for the party rate. Thank you very much. So, hello. Now I am trying to solve the second part of the day 3 puzzle of Advent of Code 2021. And do it right now. So